Hey, you guys asked for it, so I'm going to make a video tutorial on this MPC 500. I'm just going to go through the sampling, the chopping, and a little bit of the effects as well inside the program edit where you edit the samples. So I'm just going to get to specific points of this that I think are the most relevant, and that's it. So I'm not going to run through everything inside of the machine. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, all right? But first of all, let's just try to understand what's on top here. So you have different modes as any MPC, and to access these modes, you have a button right there. Just tap on it, press it, and it says press a pad. If you notice above all the pads, you have a yellow writing to tell you where you can go inside of the machine. So you got the slider, you got the load, save, program, trim, record, MIDI, other, effect, song, step edit, and sequence edit. So all you need to do is press on the mode, and then you can go, let's say, into the sampler. So record, tap on the pad, and then you have the input. You got the record in, or you can resample. So this is pretty cool. My 2000 XL doesn't have this. So record in, and then you have the amount of minutes that you can record. So you have 12 minutes to record into this machine. It's just a huge amount of time. So that's how you access a mode. You just press on the mode, and then you tap on the pad that has the mode that you want to get into. Then you have the sequence. This is the main screen. Because the screen is so small, they actually divided the main into two sections, the sequence section and then the track section. So if you notice the screen, there are a few things missing from the other MPCs, like the bar beat and tick, the amount of bars that the sequence has, the type of track that this is, if it's a MIDI track or a drum track. So it's missing a lot of information. And for that, you have the parameters right here on the side. So this relates to the sequence and to the track. So if you're on the sequence, if you press on the parameter, it takes you to the amount of bars that you're playing. So sequence loop, this is asking where you want to loop this. If you want to loop from the first to the last bar or to a bar in between that. So sequence loop, you have sequence length. So this sequence here has 2 bars, and you can change it to 4 if you want. Just press, that's the do it button right there. So if you want to, whenever you're choosing something on this MPC, then you have to do it to confirm. So press do it, and now you have 4 bars on this sequence right there. Time signature is here as well. Sequence name, you can rename this if you want. You can copy the sequence right here, delete it. User default, so memorize the sequence. So if you have some functions that you always use, like normally I like to use start with 4 bars in a sequence, I can say that I want this sequence to always be the first one when I open the MPC, so you can memorize this sequence. Another thing, if you want to jump to a specific section of a number or a name, you can press on the shift and then jump that way. Okay, so let's say I want this sequence to be 90 BPM as well, and now I can go into the parameters and say this is the type of sequence that I want to use all the time with 90 BPM with 4 bars. Also, you have this for the track as well, so sequence, track, and then you have parameters for the track. So this is where you can assign a program to a track. You can mute the track. Obviously, you have track mutes right there. Okay, so you can mute a track. You can change this MIDI channel right here. Track type, drum, or MIDI. There isn't any other type of program inside this. Then you have the track name, which you can change, and copy the track as well. If you notice here, if you go into the sequence, when you go into a unused sequence, you see it saying unused. But if you're in a track, all the tracks say the track number. And so you never really know if you've used that track or not. That's a bit annoying to me. So that's it. Parameters, default name, delete track, track name. These things that you would expect from an MPC, they're all right there. If you want to name something, you have to name it through the pads. Now let's name the sequence. Let's go into the sequence. Parameters, sequence name, there you go. Let's name this MPC head, right? And if you want to use the numeric, just tap on numeric, press pad number 1, and there it is. So do it. That's the name of the sequence. There it is, okay? So what first thing I want to do is to sample. I want to sample some drums first. Let's make a drum loop and then sample some samples. Let's go. Let's get into the record function. So mode, record. Now I'm going to pick up some kicks first. So do it. And then now it's waiting for the input. Let's just do it. Assign it to a pad. I'm pressing on pad A1, okay, and do it. Let's get into the main screen again, so sequence. So these pads right here, a lot of people complain about them. They're a bit hard to play with, so I'm just going to turn the full level on. And there we go, that's it. Cool. So let's sample a snare now. So if we go here to threshold, it's set to 47. Once the level went in and passed through that 47 dB, it triggered the recording. So that's why it's already trimmed at the beginning. Okay, we have that ready. Now let's record a snare. A lot of people ask me where the drums come from. These ones are coming from Cooking Soul. Low bap drum kit. Let's record the snare. Do it. Just waiting for that signal to come in. Do it. Okay, assign it to a pad. There we go. Do it. Let's get a hi-hat. That's it. Put it on that pad. Do it. Okay, so let's go into the main screen. Track A1, sequence 1. Let's do this. I'm actually going to record all the drums separately, okay? Let's go into the snare first. Okay, track number 2. Okay, we have our hi-hats. What I'm going to do here is going into the timing correct, shift note repeat. That turns the note repeat on and locks it. Same as the MPCs now. You can lock the swing and now you can preview the swing. But I'm going to turn this off for now. All the way, turn the quantization to off. And that's where you can record unquantized, right? So let's get into the track. Track 3 is going to be our hi-hats. Let's go into 12 levels, which is 16 levels in other MPCs. Turn that on. Select the pad. I'm going to use velocity. Do it. And now we have different velocities. Okay, let's record this. Notice that we don't have any volume. Another problem here, we don't have a volume for the track, so there's no way to lower the volume of the hi-hats or to lower the entire volume of that track. So if you go to parameters, you don't see that anywhere. Okay, so sequence edit. You can edit the velocity right here. Sequence 1, track A3. Edit the velocity, right? So the pad, it's pad. Make sure you only have the pad that you want selected, A3. Okay, and the initial and the end. So I'm going to edit the entire sequence. So that's the start, in, and out. That's the end. That's bar number 5. I want to subtract value. So it's going to subtract value to all of the MIDI information. So all of them are going to have still going to keep the same difference in velocity. He's going to subtract the amount that I want. Okay, so amount, I want to subtract, let's say 20. Yeah, that could be a good one. Okay, so you have to go, press do it. Okay, you have to go to the end. Okay, so that's it. I mean, it takes a long time. If this would be on a regular MPC, we just lower the level of the track and that would be it. I kind of just lost 5 minutes doing this. You know, so it is what it is, but let's keep going. Other than that, there's no mixer in here as well. So, but you can get to the program, and instead of lowering the level in the track, you can get to the program. Okay, and let's say I want to redo what I did. So let's go to undo, press do it. And then the volume comes back on again. So another way of doing it is going into the mode, to the program, mode, program, and you can see the level right there. So you can lower the level right here. Cool, so we're doing this. Actually, let's get to the sequence. I want this to be like 80, okay, shift 80, 83, let's go. There isn't a quick solo for this, but you can get to the track mute, change it to solo. Let me just see if this is where I have my kicks. Yeah, this is it. Turn the solo off, back into the track. Let's record a second kick. Now I do want to shift the snare a little bit. So this is on track 1, the snare is on my track 1. I'm going to go into sequence edit, okay? And we have the option to shift timing, all right? Edit sequence 1, track 1, pad, A2, keep going. Initial time, the out time, that's the end of the sequence, that's good. Shift earlier or later, I want to shift it earlier. The amount, I want to go 6. Okay, so we're shifting the snare a bit earlier, and that's it. Press do it. Let's listen to it. All right, that's it. Let's just find a sample now. The cool thing about this as well is that you can listen, so you can preview the samples while you're listening to the drum loops as well. So another thing that my 2000 XL doesn't do. Okay, I want to sample this. Drop this onto pad A4. Okay, I'm going to be very simple with this so we don't waste too much time. This is about a tutorial, not making a beat. But let's go into the main now. That's our sample. Let's drop it onto another track right there. So track number 4. There's no unused, but I know I didn't record into that one. So let's go. Okay, let's sample some more. Let's get into the record. Do it, waiting for the signal. Do it to stop and assign it. There we go, do it. Let's get into the track, and now we're going to do something. We're going to use mute groups, okay? Let's go into program. And if you go up there, you're going to get into the mute groups eventually, okay? There we go, mute groups. I'm going to say that this pad and this pad are going to choke each other, right? So they're going to stop each other from playing. Okay, so the pad here is set to play polyphonically, but I want to mute that. I want to put it in mono. All right, let's get into the sequence right here. Track 12 levels, pad A4, do it. Okay, jump out of that 12. And I'm going to trim this sample a little bit, so let's go mode, trim. That's good. Let's get back to the track. 12 levels with that. Okay, do it. So this is playing polyphonically as well. Back into the program. Mono. Okay, so I want to undo something right here. Erase all events, no. Just that from the pad A5. A5, I want to erase that. Do it. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the effects. So let's use some of the effects right here. Mode. Effects. I'm going to send it to effects number 2 because effect number 1 doesn't have a delay to it. Okay, only effect number 2. So effect number 2, it's going to be a delay. Okay, so back on to let's get here into effect number 2. Now, one of the cool things as well, if you go into the mode in program, we have low pass, band pass, and high pass for each individual pad. So if you go here, you'll get to the filter section. So filter, I can set this to a high pass. You got the frequency and resonance. Now, one of the cool things about this is that you can resample whatever you're doing inside here. So we have this sample that I'm using. First of all, let me get into the mode here, and I want to increase the volume of this sample. So let's get back here. And, okay, this is the level of the sample. Let's just increase it to the maximum. And let's go into record. Let's get here into record the main. Okay. Let's press do it. Stop it, drop it on a pad. I'm gonna drop it maybe there. Okay, do it. Cool. Turn the 12 levels off. Okay, that's it. So I like that sample. It's really dirty, but obviously is way high in volume. So let's go program. Let's get to that level right there. Double click on the stop to make all the sounds stop. Okay. So I think I've covered almost everything. Whenever you want to edit a sample, you have to go into the program to edit that sample. One of the cool things about this is that you can layer samples. So if you see it right there, L1, layer 1, layer 2, 3, and 4. So you can layer up to 4 samples on each pad, which gives you a huge amount of samples that you can drop into one program. You got your filters, as I said, low pass, high pass, and band pass with a frequency and resonance. You got the attack for the sample. I mean, I'm not going to run through the entire machine. I just wanted to make a quick beat so you guys could check out the workflow and see some of the things that I like about it and the other things that I don't. To me, this is one of the most important things. That's what I wanted to show you. I managed to open a program from here on my software, so which means you can make something here, take it home, and open it up on your MPC Live or your any of your new MPCs. So that's pretty cool. That's it. I mean, there isn't much to this, to be honest. It's all very basic. You got your track mutes right there, and you can mute everything. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the little tour of the MPC 500. I wouldn't see myself chopping samples in this. If you connect this to a computer, you can load this up with samples, and then, you know, I mean, if you have your chops ready, you can just take this on the road just to put down some ideas, and that's how I see myself using this. I don't own this. This is my friend just lended to me for a project that I'm doing. So, but if I was to use one of these, would just be, you know, to take samples on the card, go somewhere and just enjoying making sequences. I don't know. It's just a machine anyway. Some are better than others. And it will always be like that. They're just machines. It's how you use them and if you have fun with them or not. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm still going to be making one final video with this. So pay attention to that. If you have any questions, I'll answer them on my next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.